British servicemen who lost their lives during the summer recess in Afghanistan. Mr. Speaker, this is indeed a day of reckoning for the British economy. It's also a test for this House. We must show the British public that we can work together to halt the downward spiral in the British economy. And that's why, speaking for these benches, I confirm that we wholeheartedly support this government package. When a ship is sinking, you send out the lifeboats. You don't argue about who has steered it into an iceberg. That's a debate for another day. Mr. Speaker, this is a national response to what the Prime Minister has rightly called a global crisis. So we need global responses too. Will he give the House a bit more detail about exactly what he is doing to ensure that the European Union finally does act together? And will he and the Chancellor press the IMF later this week to provide support to governments like Iceland, who are overwhelmed by the crisis and are unable to cover the liabilities of their own banks on their own?
Mr. Speaker, once again, I'm grateful for his question, because it does allow me to explain, if you'll allow me to, what we are doing in concert with our European partners and what we want to see happen at a global level. First of all, the coordinated cut in interest rates is an important signal that the world will come together to deal with this economic problem. And I believe that it has come at the right time to show that the action that we are taking, the action the Americans are taking, and the action taken in other countries in Europe is action that is designed to together solve the problem we face. The problem is that the banking system has been overwhelmed by the fallout from the subprime market in the United States and the bad assets that have been taken by many banks. Our method of doing that is to strengthen the banks in our country. In America, they're trying to move these bad assets into a government fund. We feel that what we are doing is best for the banking system here. So while action is coordinated, each country will choose different things to do. What will happen on Friday is that the G7 will meet. They will agree coordinated action about transparency, about disclosure, about how we deal with accounting standards. I believe that the changes like the new colleges of supervisors that will regulate multinational companies across frontiers should come in immediately and be set up before the end of the year. There will be a meeting of the International Monetary Fund on Saturday that I believe will agree the same principles. Having talked to President Bush yesterday, I think that we will have an international leaders meeting soon to look at what we can do together. We need to have responsibility and integrity at the heart of the global financial system. We need a global early warning system and cooperation among regulators that, to be frank, we Britain have tried for years but haven't been able to persuade other countries to support. And we will continue to see coordinated action on economic policy.
Mr. Clegg, grateful to his reply. I'm sure he'll agree that whilst this package is hugely important, it is only one part of the jigsaw that needs to be put together to get the economy back on track. The Prime Minister said, rightly, that this is a time for new thinking, not for old dogma. So will he recognise that struggling families facing huge bills do need more money in their pockets now? So will he act to close the numerous loopholes in the tax system which only benefit the very wealthy, and use that money to cut taxes for people on low and middle incomes who need that money the most?
I'm grateful to him. And of course, wherever there are loopholes in the tax system, we will act to close them, and have done so over the last 9 years. Can I also say, he asked about money going to hard-working families in this country to help them through these difficulties. Every family, in fact 22 million families, basic rate taxpayers, will receive £120 as a result of the decisions made by this House to give a tax cut. Equally, at the same time, as he knows, pensioners will receive £250 in the next few weeks for their winter fuel. Pensioners over 80 will receive £400 to help with their fuel bills. We have also extended help to low-income families by increasing the social tariff numbers to 500,000 and more. We are trying to do more in that area. We're trying to deal with the unacceptable problems raised by prepayment meters, and we will legislate if necessary to stop the practice of discriminating against those on prepayment meters, and we will continue to do everything we can to help the hard-working families of this country.
Will the Prime Minister agree that the best way this House